In the news tonight, lockdown lift decision at midnight tonight. No new case, but danger remains, says Dr. Fong. And Suva-Nosori lockdown zone will be reverted.
From the studios of FBC Suva, Atera Lendua.
Good evening, Fiji. The 56 hours curfew for the Suva-Nosori corridor is scheduled to be lifted at 4 a.m. tomorrow. However, Permanent Secretary for Health, Dr. James Fong, says that could change if they're unable to find all or most of the missing 5% of contacts, or their testing reveals new high-risk cases. This is after the contact tracing teams have identified, screened and swabbed 95% of the 877 contacts of the garment factory employee who resides in McCoy, 8 miles. 611 have tested negative for COVID-19 so far, with more samples being tested. Dr. Fong says they will all remain under home quarantine for at least 14 days from their last contact with the case.
But at this stage, we are confident that we can identify the remaining contacts in Suva-Nosori and lift the lockdown on schedule. However, we'll let everybody know for sure by midnight tonight on radio, Fijian government Facebook page, or via text message blast if something changes.
Aquila Dama is live now. Aquila, what more can you tell us about the Suva-Nosori lockdown?
Thank you, Ateva. As Dr. Fong said this evening, assuming that we stay the course, the Suva-Nosori lockdown zones will revert into two separate containment areas. Now, the Suva containment area and the Nosori containment area from 4 a.m. tomorrow. Now, what does that mean? It means the Nosori containment area will again be just like before, where we start from Longani up until the Nakasi Bridge at Rups Mega. And the Suva containment zone will again be from Wainandoi up until Nakasi. And also the borders of the areas, as I said, are unchanged. The lifting of that lockdown measure, as Dr. Fong said, will mean that within these containment areas, movement for essential purposes only may resume. I reiterate that, may resume. And Dr. Fong said that the system of cross-border deliveries of food and essential items into the containment areas will also resume. Now, it means supermarkets, banks, pharmacies, and other essential businesses, as identified by the ministry, may operate from tomorrow. However, this is the key word, Tether, however, as Dr. Fong said, they let everyone know by midnight through radio and also Fijian government social media platforms of any changes.
Thank you very much, Aquila. No confirmed cases, no reason for celebration. The warning comes as after 1,212 tests and 7,560 community screenings, and no new cases of COVID-19 has been recorded by the Ministry of Health in the last 24 hours. Permanent Secretary for Health, Dr. James Fong, says this doesn't mean that there is no case out there. It just means none had been detected within the last 24 hours.
We are certain that there are more cases that will develop. Worryingly, that an unconfirmed case of the virus has already developed into a highly contagious disease. Our biggest fear right now is that someone with symptoms has not reported to the screening clinic or called 158.
Kritika Kumar joins us live now. Kritika, as reported earlier, while there are no new cases in the last 24 hours, we're still not out of danger. What's the message to the public?
Ateda, one day of no new cases of COVID-19 should not fool people to think that the storm is over. The Health Ministry's Permanent Secretary has confirmed that the virus arrives in waves. Fijians have been warned not to let their guard down, as we are not out of the danger yet. The Health Ministry's contact tracing teams have worked tirelessly to identify the contacts of case 113. Well, the case 113 is the garment factory worker. Meanwhile, Fijians have also been encouraged to adapt to the widespread COVID-safe health habits, not for a week, weekend or a month only, but these COVID-safe health habits must be kept by all Fijians at all times. Ateda.
Thanks, Kritika. The two clusters in Ra are still unlinked to any other existing COVID-19 cases. Permanent Secretary for Health, Dr. James Fong, says they're currently pursuing two leads. Dr. Fong says they're also awaiting the results from Melbourne, Australia, to confirm a genetic link to any other local cases in Fiji.
One is that the cases are related directly to the quarantine facility breach. Two, that these cases may be rippling out from an individual in Ra who attended the funeral in Tabakumbu. If you are this person, or you know this person, please contact the ministry at 158.
Josiah Nanunga joins us live now. Josiah, we've implemented some drastic measures to contain this deadly virus. What else was stressed by the Permanent Secretary tonight?
This evening, the Permanent Secretary for the Ministry of Health and Medical Services, Dr. James Fong, wishes to caution Fijians who are questioning about the government or the health ministry implementing various stringent COVID-19 measures. He says that different countries have different stages or different measures in place depending on the magnitude of their COVID-19 situation. And also the Permanent Secretary even cite an example of a developed country, where that particular country have fully immunized a cohort of its population. Hence, they are still being reminded to stay at home and follow the COVID-19 safety measures. He even says that Fiji is not at that, and we want for some, considering the current vaccination program that we have. Atela.
Thanks, Josiah. India recorded more than 400,000 new COVID-19 cases for the first time yesterday as it battles a devastating second wave. More than 7,000 food packs have already been delivered within the Suvarnasori containment zone. Permanent Secretary for Health, Dr. James Fong, says they're still receiving a steady flow of requests on the 161 line, text, platform and email.
Our logistics, from the start, we receive requests to the point of distribution are working very well. Shipments have been going out all day, and even as I speak right now, they are still going. The lockdown would have gone much differently if the ministry had been left to manage it on our own.
The Fiji Police Force and the Republic of Fiji Military Force officers have stepped in to assist in the food ration pack delivery. The team today distributed the packages in the Suvarnasori lockdown areas, which include settlements such as Sakotha. Over 500 packs were distributed in Sakotha and around 30 ration packs were given out in Cunningham. The government has acknowledged the officers for working around the clock this weekend to deliver the packs. The Permanent Secretary for Health on Friday had announced this assistance to ease some of the hardships people living in the Suvarnasori lockdown areas are facing. The Health Ministry has also set up a free SMS platform, 161, for Fijians to apply for ration. This is apart from the toll-free hotline 161. Fijians can also email their request to covid19rations@gmail.com. With COVID-19 cases being detected almost daily for the past 9 days, Fijians are being reminded to download the Kfig app. More than 240,000 Fijians have now downloaded the app. Kritika Kumar reports the app will only work if you have the Bluetooth switched on your mobiles.
The Minister for Economy says utilizing the app will speed up contact tracing and save lives.
But of course, some people are, now downloading it. We now have about 240,000 downloads. But of course, we would like more because there's a lot more adult Fijians.
Ayar said Kiyum has reiterated the app does not breach anyone's privacy.
We've got the most, or least, I should say, least intrusive, contact tracing app that we have. A lot of countries, in fact, have far more information on you and from your phones, etc. when you download the app. Ours is very, very simple.
Vodafone Fiji's Chief Marketing Officer Rajneesh Prasad says they have seen an increase in downloads in the past week.
Which is good, and we continue to push it across all our platforms to ensure that customers download this app for the safety of all Fijians.
Another telecommunication company, Digicel Fiji, says the frequency of their promotion for Care Fiji has picked up and they are proactively sending messages to Fijians to download the app. Kritika Kumar, FBC News.
Coming up, 11 fined for social gathering. And rain hinders work on Korosomo slip. The homeless on the streets of Suva are at a high risk of contracting COVID-19 and can be a carrier as well due to their constant interaction with the public. The Psychiatric Survivors Association is now mobilizing whatever resources they have to protect these street dwellers from becoming COVID victims. The association target 45 to 50 individuals per day for screenings, among other support services. Josaina Nunga reports.
Hand sanitizing, screening or temperature checks is a must before the street dwellers are given meals.
It is important for us to continue screening them after we had found a handful of them around the yellow zone area.
These Fijians are among the homeless who have not been spared by the implication of COVID-19. Now, more than ever, even struggling to find a meal daily. Milik Roro, who has been in the street for a year now, says the past few days has been a challenge, but still vouch for something special to be thankful for.
We come to this place as our second home, since most of us have been neglected from our homes.
We consider ourselves as one happy family. Considering the challenges we are going through, we always protect each other, even though we come from different backgrounds, and we are all in this together.
They have been receiving assistance for the past 11 days now. The association plans to provide personal protective equipment during this lockdown period, but believes it can only happen with the support from the relevant authorities. Josaina Nunga, FBC News.
11 people from Wunindakua settlement in Cunningham Stage 4 Suva have been fined $600 each for failing to comply with the Public Health Act. They appeared in a special magistrate court sitting this afternoon. It was heard in court that on the 30th of last month, the 11 accused gathered and had a grog session despite knowing Fiji's COVID situation. The prosecutor said the group was found unlawfully socializing and did not practice social distancing. The 11 also breached the social gathering advisory that has been set by the Health Ministry. The judge reminded the accused that their actions were highly unacceptable, selfish, and they had no respect for the lives of other Fijians. All accused pleaded guilty and have until May 31st to pay their fines or spend 2 months behind bars. Construction at Korosomo along the Lambasa-Senganga Highway is being delayed due to the continuous wet weather. According to the Fiji Roads Authority, there are 2 separate roads being constructed along Korosomo Hill. Elena Trangivu has the details.
Construction of the new 3-lane road at Korosomo Hill continues, but works are constantly being affected by rainfall, prolonging the completion timeline.
We've got another 6 weeks because we want to now do the cut it down, bench it down, and then put the pavement together and then seal the thing before opening it up.
Downhill where the slip had occurred, clearing has already begun for a single-lane access to allow for heavy vehicles to pass through.
So we did a geotechnical investigation at the slip site itself, and we have come to consensus that it's unstable.
Construction work on the single-lane access road was scheduled to be completed at the end of this month. However, the rain from the past couple of days has delayed the works. It is now expected to be completed in early May.
In next 1.5 weeks, we should be all running at least the single lane that will allow all the normal. There will be basically no load restriction. and then big trucks can go through the thing.
At present, only vehicles up to 10 tons can access the alternative Tambia-Nanduri coastal road route to Lambasa due to the weight restriction at the Langere Bridge. Eleanor Turangai View, FBC News.
Perseverance and determination are two things that kept Mohammed Ayaz going over the years, especially after hitting a stumbling block. And these have contributed to getting him to where he is today. Owner of the Nandi chain of restaurants, Fried Chicken Planet, and signage company Signs Pacific, Ayaz has gone through an extraordinary journey before starting his businesses. Felipe Nakaso with tonight's Successful Fijian.
Life has been a roller coaster ride for 43-year-old Mohammed Ayaz. Originally from Nandi, his family was not well off then, and it was one of the reasons Ayaz did a few odd jobs.
I started walking when I was 11. Tough times were there. My first job was at any market, I would say, selling vegetables for family members.
After completing high school, he worked at a supermarket as a packer. However, Ayaz did not settle for this, but worked his way up the ladder, and at a young age, he was managing a department at the supermarket. After 2 years, he left and joined Jack's of Fiji at the age of 21, and this is where he met Dilip Khatri, his mentor.
A man with supreme thoughts and guidance. Today I operate whatever I learned at Jack's. That time it was Jack's Handicrafts, today it's Jack's of Fiji. When I started Jack's, it was we had only 6 shops. And today I think there are 50 plus. I feel proud of it.
For 10 years he worked for Jack's, learning the ropes of doing business before moving to Millennium Group of Companies, where he also spent 10 years. He resigned from the company as the CEO and decided to finally pursue his dream.
I thought of getting my own venture, like starting up a signage company was a dream, restaurants were a dream. So what I thought was, why don't we, it's time to do it.
Ayaz set his mind on his goal and achieved it by starting Signs Pacific in 2017 and later opened his 2 restaurants, Fried Chicken Planet. However, it wasn't that easy as finances were a problem, but it never stopped him from pushing on.
Never ever think that there's something in this world which can't be done.
Today, he employs around 30 people in his 2 businesses. Felipe Nakaso, FBC News.
Coming up, follow protocols, Randrandra pleads. And another one in the bag for Silk Tales. This and more coming up. Flying Fijians captain Semi Randrandra is one of the many national reps sparing a thought for Fiji.
I know that our beloved country is currently facing a few cases of the new variant of COVID-19. To all of you, please wear masks at all times when you're out and about in public. Maintain physical distance. Wash your hands for more than 20 seconds. Please download the Fiji Care app. And most importantly, stay home and save the country from the deadly wave of infection.
Devita Kurindrani and the Western Forces' hopes of reaching the Super Rugby AU final was dashed last night. The Brumbies defeated the Force 21-9 in the semi-final at GIO Stadium. Debutant Aquila Tabakaturanga scored a double for the Kaiviti Silktails yesterday as they defeated Cabramatta 38-14 at the Mascot Oval in Sydney. The Silktails scored 6 converted tries with Choweli Wulabo, Maika Serulevu, Ratu Inoke, Wasuturanga and Apakuki Tabondi also getting on the score sheet. It was the team's 3rd win from 6 games and they are 4th on the standings with 10 points. The Silktails will host the Hawks next Saturday in another round of the Ron Massey Cup. Fiji Mbati winger Maika Sivo has now scored 9 tries in 8 games for the Eels this season. Sivo scored a double to help Parramatta thrash the Bulldogs 38-10 at the Australian Stadium in Sydney last night. Rain and thunderstorms were experienced over most places today. In the west, breezy this morning, otherwise cloudy and humid with intervals of rain, heavy at times. Eastwards from Pacific Harbour to Suva, cloudy and humid with heavy showers. An alert for flooding remains. Up north, cloudy, morning shower followed by heavy showers this afternoon. At sea, southeasterly winds 20 to 25 knots, rough seas, moderate southerly swells, poor visibility in areas of heavy rain and thunderstorms. Turning to the tides, the next high tide is at 11:37 tonight, with low tide at 5:31 a.m. Sunrise is at 6:21. Outlook for tomorrow, periods of rain, heavy at times for areas from Singatoka to Suva, Nosori to Rakiraki, and the rest of Fiji, occasional showers and isolated thunderstorms with heavy falls. The outlook for Tuesday, periods of rain, heavy at times, and a few thunderstorms over most places. Recapping our main stories, lockdown lift decision at midnight tonight. No new cases, but danger remains, says Dr. Fong, and Suvanosori containment zones re-established. For these stories and others, you can tune in daily to our sister radio station, Gold FM. To our poll question this week, we're asking, have you downloaded the Kfig app? Visit our FBC website to answer. You can send us newsworthy pictures and videos by email fbcnews@fbc.com.fj or share it with us via Facebook, Twitter and Instagram. And you can also download our FBC app to keep updated with the very latest in news and sports, and also listen to our 6 FBC radio stations live. That's your news for tonight. Have a good night, stay safe.